처음 데뷔했을 때 15년 할 생각은 솔직히 없었거든요.
Before K-pop became the worldwide phenomenon it is today, there was a group that helped build the foundation, brick by brick. They weren't just a part of the wave, they were one of the first to create it. This is the story of Super Junior. The year was 2005. Super Junior debuted under SM Entertainment with a track called Twins Knockout. At the time, K-pop wasn't global. It wasn't even mainstream in Asia the way it is now, and Super Junior was a strange experiment. They were introduced as Super Junior-05, a project group with a rotational concept. Members were supposed to be replaced every year, like a seasonal cast. Nobody knew what to expect, including the members themselves. But then something changed. The public started paying attention. When they dropped You in 2006, the group began to gain real traction. That moment marked a turning point for Super Junior. It is also when eunhyuk joined, solidifying the lineup. By then, the group had built a strong and stable presence, with fans becoming invested in the same members. Seeing this, SM Entertainment decided it was time to make Super Junior a permanent team. Even in those early days, each member stood out. Leeteuk was already stepping into his leadership role. Heechul's personality exploded on screen. Siwon had the visuals and was already eyeing acting gigs. And Kyuhyun, his vocals were immediately recognized. Every member brought something different, and slowly, the public started to see the potential. 2009 changed everything. That's when Sorry Sorry came out, and it ended up shaping how K-pop looked to the world. The sharp choreography, the addictive synths, and that unforgettable instantly grabbed attention. It went viral before going viral was even a thing in K-pop. It topped charts in Korea and stayed #1 in Taiwan for 30 consecutive weeks. That song turned Super Junior into Hallyu kings. And they didn't stop there. In 2010, they followed up with Bonamana, keeping the energy high with a more aggressive beat and intense choreography. While Sorry Sorry had polish, Bonamana brought grit. It proved they could follow up a massive hit and keep the momentum going. That track also ranked high across Asia, and the album sold over 200,000 copies in Korea. Then came Mr. Simple in 2011. It was loud, funky, and pure Super Junior chaos in the best way. The chorus was instantly singable, the dance was iconic, and it became their third song to hit major success across Asia. That album also became one of the best-sellers in South Korea that year. Mr. Simple charted at #1 in Korea and topped the Billboard World Albums chart. Even their softer side hit home. No Other wasn't a power anthem. It was romantic and sweet, showing they weren't just performers, but also vocalists. The music video became one of their most watched uploads early on and was a fan favorite for its warmth. Acha, released later in 2011, kept the energy alive. It continued their strong run of dance-heavy tracks with catchy hooks and sharp performance. The same year, Opera, initially a Japanese release, added to their diverse discography and showed their appeal in Japan. But their biggest weapon wasn't just songs, it was presence. They started their Super Show concert tour series, selling out arenas across Asia and even going as far as France, Saudi Arabia, and Chile. Super Show 3 and 4 both pulled in over 400,000 fans combined, proving just how far their fan base extended. Their reach was insane, especially for that era. ELF fandoms popped up in unexpected places. Thailand, Peru, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, making Super Junior one of the first Korean groups to have true global reach. Every comeback had fans waiting for two things, the title track and the fun. Super Junior owned the stage with their chaotic energy. They weren't trying to be perfect, they were just being themselves. That authenticity became part of their brand. Whether it was their synchronized dancing or their silly moments on stage, fans connected with that vibe. While their music was climbing charts, Super Junior also took over Korean variety shows. This is where they really separated themselves. Most idol groups stick to music shows. Super Junior, they dominated variety. Heechul became a household name thanks to his quick wit and unpredictable charm, becoming a staple on shows like Knowing Bros. Leeteuk was hosting left and right, showing professionalism and warmth as an MC on Star King and Strong Heart. Shindong brought humor and behind-the-scenes insight on shows like Beatles Code. Kyuhyun became a regular on Radio Star and was praised for his sarcasm and sharp tongue. They weren't just guests on shows, they were the reason people tuned in. Their comedic timing, natural banter, and chemistry made even basic variety segments entertaining. The public started loving them not just as performers, but as entertainers. That visibility helped their music reach even more people. It was the perfect combo. Idols on stage, comedians off stage. They turned TV appearances into brand-building moments. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Super Junior faced multiple challenges behind the scenes. Members like Kungin, Hungung, and Kiboom eventually left the group or went inactive. Legal battles, controversies, and military enlistments all shook the group. Hungung's lawsuit against SM Entertainment in 2009 was a major blow. He had a huge following in China, and his departure marked the beginning of a long chapter of member changes. Kungin had multiple scandals that led to suspensions. Kiboom stepped away from idol activities altogether to focus on acting. At that time, it felt like Super Junior was falling apart. From a group that once had 13 active members, the lineup constantly shifted, yet they never officially disbanded. Instead, they adjusted. They performed with however many members were available, sometimes 8, sometimes 10. They rotated roles and adapted stage setups. Enlistments were another hurdle. One by one, the members fulfilled their military duties, often leading to long gaps between full group comebacks. But unlike most groups that lose momentum, Super Junior kept coming back. They dropped albums like Sexy Free and Single and Mamacita during this period. Mamacita especially stood out. It mixed Latin vibes with Super Junior's humor and flair, and it marked their return as a more mature group. Despite everything, their fandom stayed loyal. Elf didn't just support the music. They supported the members through the ups and downs. That bond kept the group alive. While most groups ease up after 10 years, Super Junior pushed even harder. They embraced their senior status and leaned into what made them unique. Albums like Devil, One More Time, and Time Slip showed their willingness to experiment. Devil brought a funk-inspired groove. One More Time featured Latin pop, even collaborating with Mexican band Rake. I Think I and Superclap were fresh, lighthearted, and full of character. They also started their own subunits and solo projects. Donghae and Eunhyuk, as D&E dominated Japan with sold-out tours and multiple Japanese albums. Kyuhyun became a respected ballad singer. Yesung and Ryewook released solid solo albums that connected well with fans, and their variety appearances never stopped. Whether it was hosting music shows, guesting on talk shows, or doing web variety, they kept showing up. What was more impressive, Super Junior created their own labels. They opened label SJ under SM Entertainment, giving them creative control and space to manage their own careers. That move helped extend their longevity in a major way. It also gave them freedom to decide their own direction and pace, something rare in the idol world. Today, Super Junior is one of the longest-running K-pop groups still active. They've surpassed almost 20 years in the game. Their legacy isn't just about music, it's about resilience, reinvention, and staying true to who they are. They've sold millions of albums, held countless world tours, and inspired a whole generation of idols. Groups like BTS, EXO, and 17 have all named Super Junior as an influence. Their variety presence helped normalize idols being entertainers too, and their ability to bounce back over and over again is a lesson in perseverance. The recent releases like House Party, Cole, and Mango prove they're still active, still relevant, and still enjoying what they do. These tracks balance maturity with fun, proving they haven't lost their touch. House Party tackled pandemic themes, showing social awareness. Mango was funky, summery, and light, showing they still know how to ride a vibe. They might not be charting like before, but they built something even more powerful: loyalty. And with label SJ under their control, they're charting their own course. They started as a rotational project and became legends. Through lineup changes, scandals, and the shifting K-pop industry, Super Junior stood tall. And even now, they remind us that passion, humor, and heart can carry you further than trends ever will. This is Super Junior, and this is what it means to last. Super Junior dared to be bold. Will you?